Well, Simon Clark, of course, a number of successes last season. Second place in the Youth Alliance South East, a good run in the FA Youth Cup to face Leeds United, and of course a good win as well against a young Arsenal team. But what do you hope to have learned from last season that you can take into this season?
I think the first thing is, Rob, that it's all relevant. We don't want to be second. Luton ran away with it. They turned 8 pros over from that group, so it was a very good group. But we don't want to come second to anybody. So whether that's positive or not, we worked hard, but it was second. FA Youth Cup, last 10 minutes we were the best team. In normal time against Leeds, created a load of chances. So personally, I felt we should have done better in that game at that period. And Arsenal was a really good game where we won the fixture. So loads to learn. All we're going to do is try and be better in every way, physically, technically, tactically, socially, and just try and raise the bar and keep going in an upward trajectory.
And in your role, of course, as well, it's all about developing players. You saw 3 of them earn professional deals last season, which is great. What were your thoughts on that?
No, brilliant. All very different. So you've got a real fantastic technician, Morgan Williams, great in the tight, good decision maker, plays for Wales, gets around the pitch, scores goals. You've got Paris Locke, super creative, does big things in big games, which you need. And then you've got Sasu, who's another physical monster that is very direct and very vertical, and scores goals. But what they have all done, all 3 of those guys, Rob, they've affected games consistently and in a way where we look at it and we think, yes, you have very much, and it is potential, but you've got loads of potential to bring that onto another platform and actually add something to the pro squad, because we don't want to give out contracts for contract's sake. We're a professional football club. We have a duty of care to make sure that we're handing players over to the first team that stand a realistic chance of making the shirt.
It's a much changed squad from last season, of course. There are a number of players, second year scholars. It's a crucial year for them coming up. Can you see it in them that they realise how important it is to get a professional deal that they're going for now?
Absolutely, and it's something that we keep. They have to understand why they're here. They have to understand that professional football is a fantastic life if you can make it and consistently make it. But there's always managers, there's always coaches, there's always external factors, players coming in, squads change, and you've got to keep pushing and keep driving. It's something that we want the players to know about, but not be worried or frightened about. We've spoke to them and their parents in pre-season about them having no ceiling. So they can, if they push and drive, live right, become obsessed with their career as a professional athlete, there is no ceiling for them, and they can go as far as their body, their mind, their technical ability, which can develop and continuously develop. They can go as far as they can. So they're very much aware of it. They've seen that some great trainers and some great people, unfortunately, we didn't consider they were the future of our wonderful football club. And that's the toughest thing from my part. You make decisions, we make group decisions on players that train tremendously hard, that just don't quite make it. And that's something which comes with the business. And that's important. I think that lads know that, but also know that there is no ceiling, and you can always do more. Winners do more. It's a saying that we have in the academy, and I think it's really important that you have that understanding, like I said, but also know that you can always do something more to enhance your career.
Most importantly as well, of course, you've shifted location for the training pitch this season. You've got one up there alongside the first team up at Woodies. How important is it for both the first team and the academy to see that pathway there?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. We want to be in a position where when the gaffer or Skivo call over, I need an 8. My best 8 will go over. It doesn't matter if he's an under 16. If he's my best 8 goes over. Because again, we're here to maximise what the players can do, get them onto the big bus as soon as they can get there. So it's about performance. Yes, they need that energy and they need that mentality to be able to go and work in that environment. You've got senior pros that will demand, excellence off you. My job and my staff's job is to make sure that the players have that in them to be able to walk over there and go, yeah, do you know what? I'm not here to make numbers up. I'm here to really thrive and engage and technically, tactically and physically and socially make sure that I'm at the level. And that's a big thing for us. We train so hard to make sure that they are capable to go over there and push and add to the group. And being side by side, Rob's great. It's wonderful. We want that relationship with the first team guys. The coaching staff, they're all great. They all come to the Youth Cup games. They've all got an interest and a knowledge of what we're trying to do. So the synergy between the groups is fantastic.
That's brilliant to hear. And of course, pre-season for you is already underway. A trip to Stoke City's academy at the weekend. Tell us about how that came about and how productive was it?
Just contacts. We didn't want to go locally and play local non-league sides that don't, no disrespect, that don't test us. I wanted to play a certain number of Cat 1s, Cat 2s where we're not going to have as much of the ball. I want to play higher level non-league sides. Win, lose, or draw, that's not. It's all about performance. It's all about what we learn. It's all about what preparation it gives us for August the 5th. So no people at Stoke. We wanted to get them on a bus to give them an overnight stay. We wanted a couple of activities and a training session while we were up there, and it was perfect. We was at their training ground. We was on their number 1 pitch. We played. We believe there was 3 or 4 first-year pros in their starting lineup, which was wonderful. They, like us, had some trialists and some 16s coming in the second half. We started the first half with 2 under 16s who did tremendously well, both of them. So that was a really good thing. We lost 3-4, close game, but a wonderful experience. And it was great to see how the lads had bonded with that overnight stay and going out for dinner and just spending time and talking and walking. And it was a really, really positive trip for us.
Fantastic. But of course, this Saturday, QPR coming up next, and then some really good non-league teams as well. First team senior players they're going to be up against. Absolutely.
So we've got QPR, Cat 2 side, very creative. I know them very well. That will be really tough. Away, we're at Heston, 10:45 on Saturday, and then we go Hempstead, Step 2. That's away. We go on the Tuesday. We go Friday. We go Chelmsford, Step 2. And then the following Saturday we play Eastbourne, where obviously Morgan Williams spent 6 weeks on loan and did really well there. But again, it's not about who we're coming up against, it's about what we do. It's about how we approach it. It's about what we do with and without the ball. It's what we do on the turnover. But we want to go there and dominate and play our style and impose that on teams that will be full of pros that have dropped down, semi-pros, so it should be good.
And of course, as well as the second years and the number of new first year intake that you've got a few trialists in as well.
Yeah.
But it's good to see the likes of, I think, Luca Ziga, Hugo Few, and in particular Kai Jennings, who are going to have the chance to still show what they can do to stake a claim for a professional contract.
Absolutely, those guys they miss considerable time last year. They've come back in. They've worked really hard through the summer. Again, we expect them to join in. The 2 older boys will probably look to get out on loan when they're ready. They need to make sure that they're the best two players in their position and get in the youth team before they go and do that. Jennings is a little bit different. He's a second year, but highly rated. We expect him to have a tremendous season this year.
What about in terms of players who are making the step up though? Give us some names to perhaps look out for without putting too much pressure on them. And I know that I think Connor Harris played in a Senior Cup game last season, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Central midfielder is working tremendously hard. Junior and Keng, a 15-year-old, not yet 16, worked tremendously hard. Came up against a U20s right back at Stoke. Found it really tough, but what a wonderful learning period for him. Jake Lawrence, spoke to him a couple of days ago. He feels fitter than he's ever felt. Real good movements, getting on the ball. We've got Riley Horan, Bailey Cotton. We've got Cardboat, tremendous pace. Kai McKenzie, I hope I haven't forgotten any. Ed Leach, again, tremendous pace down the side. So we expect these guys, and what happened last year, they played quite a few minutes with us, which is really important because they get used to how we work, how I work, the demands that we want to put on them, and the pressure that they need to put themselves under to perform. Not to not perform, to get that magical spot where you're comfortable but you're confident to go out because you know you've done the work, you know your roles, you know your responsibilities, and you can just go out there and smash it. So they will play good minutes, so we expect them to thrive.
Brilliant, exciting times, Simon. How do you feel now though? Because of course it's coming up to a year anniversary for yourself, isn't it? You've still not even been in the job for a year.
July the 15th was my first session. I'm absolutely delighted because I think, no disrespect, I think we was a little bit behind at the start because I've come in and you work a certain way. So I missed the first 3 weeks of pre-season. We're just starting week 3. I think hopefully we're ahead of where we was last year. We started the season, we lost 1-0 away at Luton, which was a tough day for us. They dominated the game really, although we had our chances. I think we'll be different this year because obviously I've got my ideas and I've spent more time with this group to embed what I want to see from them. So we're really looking forward to it. We can't wait. We want to play at the stadium again in the Youth Cup, which we loved last year, and we want to win the title. We don't want to come second to a really good Luton side. We want to eclipse what they did, and win the league and go as far as we can in the Youth Cup.
Brilliant. So much ambition there as well. Simon, thanks very much indeed for your time.
Top man, thanks Rob.